He's getting back in his helicopter.
Grand Theft Auto 5 had decent water. I mean, the ocean moved, right? The waves, they rolled, and if you drove a boat into the sunset, it looked beautiful. But underneath all of that was a pretty standard system. The ocean in Grand Theft Auto 5 was built on a mesh, a flat surface that got pushed around by math to look like waves. The water never reacted to what you did in really any meaningful way. You know, it's like a wallpaper. Imagine it like that. A good wallpaper, but a wallpaper. And most games, this is what they do with water. For 2013, that was perfectly acceptable. Like I said, almost every game does this. But Grand Theft Auto 6 is set in Leonida, a fictional version of Florida. And Florida is really defined by water. I mean, we're talking swamps, coastlines, the Keys, the open ocean. Rockstar knew that if they were building this world, water could not be an afterthought. And based on what we can actually verify right now, it looks like they've treated it as anything but. So let's start with what Rockstar themselves have told us through the trailers and official materials. In the first trailer, one of the earliest shots is an overhead view of the ocean. IGN's frame-by-frame breakdown pointed out that this single shot showcases not just impressive water effects, but also marine life underneath the surface, including 4 dolphins skipping across the waves and a shark lurking below. This is a deliberate choice. Rockstar could have opened with skyscrapers or a car chase, whatever. Instead, they showed us water, okay? They really wanted us to look at that water. And I remember thinking, wow, Jesus Christ, this looks incredible. And they showed us the life inside that water. Think about the trailers back for Red Dead Redemption 2 with all the little critters and stuff rolling around and all that kind of stuff. Well, we got that, but with water this time. And later in the same trailer, we got to see an airboat gliding across wetlands, clearly inspired by the Florida Everglades. And IGN noted that these wetlands are densely populated with more wildlife than has ever been seen in a Grand Theft Auto game. There's going to be flamingos, alligators, all that stuff, all there set against incredibly detailed foliage. And again, water is not a decoration here. It's like the living space. It's a feature or something. I don't know. Anyways, in trailer 2, this is where things started to get a little bit more intense. Digital Foundry did a down of this trailer, and their observations about liquid rendering are worth paying attention to. At least I think so. They specifically noted how beer bottles in the trailer show liquid sloshing around inside them, with the lighting playing off the glass and the fluid in a way that feels tangible. They even highlighted a scene where condensation appears only on the portion of a glass bottle containing cold liquid, and then there's another thing where the beer inside another bottle catches light and it moves convincingly. Eurogamer's write-up of that Digital Foundry analysis also pointed out that ray-traced reflections are heavily used on water surfaces, with larger bodies of water like rivers and streams appearing to use ray-traced reflections rather than just screen space reflections. They did note some noise in the water reflections, but the overall quality of how light interacts with fluid surfaces in this game is something they described as next level. And of course, there's going to be some noise in it. You zoom in on any of the screenshots, you're going to see what they're talking about. Some of that digital noise. It was present in Red Dead Redemption 2, especially on the PlayStation 4, I remember, and less so on the PC, but still visible, just way less. But remember, this game is basically being built around the PlayStation 5, so of course we're going to see a little bit of that. Who cares? I mean, really, the image is the sum of its parts, right? And Rockstar did confirm that these trailers were captured on a base PlayStation 5. So what in the world is going to power this incredible water on a PlayStation 5? Well, in October of 2023, the French outlet Rockstar Mag published an exclusive report based on their own sources detailing improvements coming with the new version of the Rage engine, which they identified as Rage 9. You've heard me talk about this to death. According to that report, one of the key innovations is water physically simulated in real time. And I've talked about physically simulated water. I'm just going to stop saying I've covered it before, and I'm just going to tell you I've talked about it, okay? Anyways, that article explains that while real-time fluid simulation has existed in film and 3D applications for years, it had never been done in real time inside a playable open-world game at this scale. They compared Rockstar's approach to NVIDIA's WaveWorks technology, noting that even WaveWorks 2.0 produced results that were, in their words, still a long way off from what Rockstar Games has developed. The report identifies the team behind this as Rage Technology Group, a subdivision of Rockstar San Diego, the studio that originally built the Rage engine back in 2006.
I can make any song with your voice. Just record your voice. I'll take care of the rest.
According to Rockstar Mag, this team is composed of roughly 20 engineers with deep expertise in real-time physics simulation, linear algebra, trigonometry, and matrix mathematics. Geez, how much do you think they're getting paid? After what the report describes as months of research, experimentation, and optimization, those engineers achieved the feat of physically simulating water in an open-world game in real time. The article does carry a disclaimer that some of this information was still in the development stage when reported, whatever that means, but it basically means that not everything described is guaranteed to appear in the final product. Well, there you go, that's what that means. Now, you may have heard a very specific number floating around the internet, $200 to $300 million. Supposedly, that's the budget Rockstar spent on water physics alone. That claim does need to be addressed directly though, because I'm a little guilty here. It's been repeated constantly, and the sourcing is paper thin. The original Rockstar Mag article from 2023 never mentioned any budget figure, okay? Like zero. The number first appeared in August 2025 from a social media account on X that took the older Rockstar Mag report, allegedly, and added the dollar figure amount on top of it, okay? Apparently, that's the story on how that came to be. And then, there was also claims about surfing, hurricanes, and dynamic tides, stuff y'all have heard about. As GTA Boom reported, the original French outlet never mentioned any budget, and the $200 to $300 million figure appears to be speculation that just got repeated until people treated it as fact. And I am guilty of this because before I did my due diligence, there's been steps, right? Like I feel like I've been leveling up on the fact checking stuff. I think I have a video just called 300 million water, whatever. I'm leaving it as is. I did also have another one where I was like, the map is 95% finished or whatever, and I got schooled on that as well. And the number's more like closer to 80%, and that's because of something very similar to this. There ends up being some misinformation that gets spread, and then it becomes kind of an echo chamber on the internet, and then all of a sudden the internet itself, like Google and all that, starts to index this information as fact, So we got to dig a little deeper and actually look and read these sources instead of just glossing over them and looking for a shortcut to getting the buzz numbers. Again, take stuff like that with salt, and if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, okay? Unless it's Grand Theft Auto 6, because it's going to be incredible. Multiple outlets, including Dexerto, covered the resurfacing of this claim. And even Dexerto, and it's weird to say that name, I kind of like it, but they described the number as wild and noted it is very unlikely that Rockstar would have blown that much money on one part of the game. So for context, the entire development and marketing budget for Grand Theft Auto 5 was around $265 million, give or take. That's the figure I got. But anyways, the idea that Rockstar spent more than that on water alone, that doesn't really hold up, Maybe, who's to say, right? So go ahead and just forget that number, okay? Forget I ever said it. Go watch my water video one more time just for good old time's sake, and then part ways and never see each other again. Just a nice clean break. Don't text them, but go watch it and give it a like if you haven't already, please. I'd really appreciate it. You could say the idea that Rockstar spent more than that on water alone doesn't hold any water. I'll be here all night, thank you. But that team of 20 engineers building something ambitious for water, that does come from Rockstar Mag's source report. The $300 million price tag, well, that doesn't. What we can verify with complete confidence is that Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company, holds multiple patents directly related to fluid simulation and water rendering. And I've beaten these patents to death, but hey, that's what we got. That and the leaks and all that kind of stuff. These are public filings, so they're not leaks and rumors, anything like that. You can look them up yourself, and you can go to Google right now and type in patent US 10685152B2. And this was granted in June of 2020, and it is titled Systems and Methods for Fast Simulation and Visualization of Sparse Fluids. It was invented by Matthias Michael Wlocka, I think I'm saying that right, and assigned to Take-Two. This patent describes a system for simulating small-scale fluids like sweat, tears, blood, and rain droplets on 3D character models. The way it works is genuinely clever. The simulation runs in a 2D plane mapped to the surface of a 3D character, calculating how fluid moves based on gravity, surface properties, and environmental forces. It accounts for things like evaporation, how hairy or smooth a surface is, and whether fluids should drip off or pool in place. Damn it, sentient text. Stop. Sorry, guys. And it's designed to run on a GPU in real time, and that's really incredible. And the patent explicitly mentions use cases like sweat on athletes and rain on windshields, stuff like that. Think about what this means for a game set in a humid subtropical climate. Hell, just look at the freaking screenshots and you'll see already this thing at work. Like, zoom in on people. I'm not even kidding. It's insane the amount of detail on these people's bodies. Look at the sweat. Look at the sweat. Characters, they're sweating in that Miami heat. Rain streaking across car windows. Blood's gonna behave realistically during combat. Digital Foundry actually observed sweat rendering in Trailer 2, and they noted that sweat visible on certain characters as particularly noteworthy, like the sweat beading on a hostage's brow, or Jason's back and how it's all wet and stuff as he turns when he's walking into his beach house. Then there's patent US 823772 2B2, granted back in August of 2012, I think, also assigned to Take-Two, invented by Jesse Johnson. This one covers systems for visualizing flowing fluids, specifically how falling water interacts with objects. It simulates fluid as a 2D plane, renders depth buffers for the top and bottom surfaces of intersecting objects, and creates a visible fluid mesh that accounts for splash effects, is foundational technology for things like waterfalls, rain hitting surfaces, and water parting around a character's body. There's also patent US 102901442B2, granted, and again, you can look all this crap up, granted in May of 2019. This one was titled Water Surface Rendering in Virtual Environment and focuses specifically on making larger bodies of water look realistic in real-time 3D applications. It covers improved wave visualization using height maps and procedural generation, volumetric shadow rendering beneath water surfaces, and an iterative ray casting method that refines how water geometry is displayed from any distance or viewing angle. The patent claims improvements in stability when the camera moves, reduced repetitive wave patterns, and realistic optical effects, including reflections, deformations, and foam. And you can see all of this stuff in the trailers. This is the kind of technology that would make an ocean actually look like an ocean from any angle. It doesn't really matter if you're standing on a dock or flying over the ocean in a helicopter. It's going to look legit. All three of these patents are held by Take-Two Interactive, and all three apply directly to what you would need to build a best-in-class water system for an open-world game. We cannot confirm which specific patents are actively being used by Grand Theft Auto 6, of course, but the existence of this intellectual property tells us where the company has been investing its engineering efforts. Rockstar's own marketing also makes it clear that water is central to this game's identity. Think about all the stuff that's been on the website. I mean, one of the things that was on there, I'm not sure if it's still up there because they change it every 5 seconds, but, well, not every 5 seconds, but there used to be a bunch of stuff on there. But it said the dress code is casual, the bars are loaded, life in this tropical archipelago isn't flashy, but it's easy. Get your buzz on, pull up a deck chair, but look out, you are right on the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America.
When I started my record label, the business side of things, taxes, finances, definitely felt like adulting. But just because you start your own thing doesn't mean you have to figure it out on your own. It's been amazing to have a TurboTax expert to bounce ideas off of. Even if I'm in the studio alone at night, I have access to a TurboTax expert. I handle the music, they handle the tax questions.
File your taxes with confidence with TurboTax experts.
They are not just describing scenery here. I mean, they're telling you that this water matters. You know, they really want to lay it home that their water's great. Like, hey, look at our water. It's legit. It's really cool. We had 20 engineers make it. And they said it's beautiful and it's dangerous, like the women in my life. Seriously, I mean that. I love each.
I mean, realistically, you don't even know everyone.
I love each and every one of you. And
dude, stop.
The stuff they said about the grass rivers, you know, same thing. I have it written down. I'm not sure if it's still up on the site. It could have been before they updated it or whatever. I'm not going to check. I'm lazy. But it did say the untamable jewel of Leonida's crown. Okay. And it said, like, you never know what lies beneath the surface of this primordial expanse. And what does that do? Well, that invites you, the player, to go and look down there. This is a flooded grassland region inspired, of course, by the Everglades. And Rockstar is explicitly framing its water as something with depth, mystery, and things hiding in it. Very much like the game, bro. Sorry. IGN's analysis of the trailer 2 screenshots also revealed what appears to be scuba diving as an activity, with characters seen exploring underwater alongside turtles, fish, and eels in the Leonida Keys. A piece of wood inside a bar called the Rusty Anchor in the Keys commemorates something called Hurricane Roxy, which IGN flagged as a potential hint that extreme weather events could play a role in Grand Theft Auto 6's world, and I think that is something we will definitely be seeing. One more trailer detail worth mentioning. Digital Foundry noted in trailer 2, well, when they were doing the analysis that is, that the material work on transparent surfaces is exceptional. They specifically called out how ray-traced reflections interact with glass, plastic, and water, describing it as something that sets a new bar and would only be possible with real-time ray tracing. When water is one of the surfaces benefiting from this level of rendering fidelity, every puddle, every ocean wave, every rain-slicked road has the potential to reflect the world around it in a way no previous Grand Theft Auto has ever achieved. And now look, I know Digital Foundry is under some scrutiny or whatever after the whole DLSS 5 debacle, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and insult your intelligence. This is Exhibit A for the prosecution. And I'll be honest, it's their strongest piece of evidence. where does this bring us to? Like, where does this leave us? What can we say with confidence? Well, Rockstar has built a dedicated team of around 20 engineers at their San Diego studio specifically to develop new water technology. That team has produced a system for real-time physically simulated water in an open world. Take-Two holds at least 3 patents covering sparse fluid simulation on characters, fluid visualization, and large-scale water surface rendering. Both official trailers demonstrate water that is visually far beyond anything in Grand Theft Auto 5 or even Red Dead Redemption 2, with ray-traced reflections, realistic fluid behavior, bottles and on character skin, and marine ecosystems rendered in real time. Rockstar's own marketing positions water as kind of like a core element of Leonida's identity. I mean, it is. It's not some background filler. It's full on display, man, when you watch the trailers. You know what I'm talking about here. I mean, it opens up with that big shot in trailer 1. It's just freaking amazing. I think you're watching it right now. What we cannot confirm, though, is the specific budget, and I don't really think that really matters. All we need to know is water good. Water look good. So I am making this video to kind of update on that video. Whether features like surfing or dynamic hurricanes will appear in the final game, or exactly how these systems perform during extended open world gameplay rather than controlled trailer footage, those details remain unknown. And anyone telling you otherwise is guessing or just trying to get your clicks. But what we do know is enough to understand something important. Rockstar did not just upgrade their water. They rebuilt it from the ground up with a specialized team, patented technology, and an engine designed to make the freaking ocean, the swamps, and the rain feel like they belong in the same world as you. For a game set in a place surrounded by water on nearly every side, that might be the smartest investment they could have ever made. You could say that I'm looking at this with the glass half full. Jeez, man, I'm terrible today with the puns. I'm so sorry. Shout out time. Hey guys, I'm here in the studio and thought I would do shout out time from here today because I just got done recording and I got my Dandy Andy experience stuff up. Anyways, let's get into it.
Kid, remember to turn out the lights.
Yeah, Frank, I will.
Have you heard from your uncle?
No, I haven't heard from him in quite some time. I think he's in Las Vegas right now.
All right, well, if you see him, tell him he was light on the last paycheck.
I probably won't see him, but if I do, I will. Have a good night, Frank.
Good night, Andy.
Man, he's in a good mood tonight. That like never happens. Cool. All right, shout out time. Who we got? All right, we got Jimmy from the South Side. I've given you a shout out before, and he said to give a shout out to Jesus. So we're giving a shout out to Jesus. There we go. Boom. And then we got DexEffects2 or DexEffects2, the game dev, who said to also shout out my cat Joe. And Joe isn't here right now, but I will let him know when I feed him when I get home. Then we have Let's Ride 207, who's from Maine. Then we have I don't know where to start on that. Mamikon Maloyana, I think that's how you say that, from Armenia. And shout out to you. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, okay? I'm really bad about that, but shout out to you and thanks for reaching out. Then screw it. Shout out to Killer Camera 94 just again for being a G. I like Killer Camera 94 and I like reading his name. What's up, Killer Cameron? You watching? Then we have Joe Boy 77. Shout out to you. Then we have Spur 754. And I've got you on that video idea, I think. I have a massive list of ideas, kind of like a little channel Bible thing, but I'd love to hear more suggestions. That's kind of how these videos get made. So thanks, homie. Really appreciate it. Then we have Jack Welch 9576. Then we have Murph Sports Super Show 3810, who asked if Grand Theft Auto 6 would get Game of the Year over Crimson Desert. Apparently they asked Sav and haven't heard back, or they did. I don't know. Okay, so here's what I think. I think it's kind of not going to be a contest. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will probably win Game of the Year unless they pull a stunt to intentionally not give it to the game, kind of like how they did with Red Dead Redemption 2. Not saying that the God of War reboot is bad. I've heard great things. I still need to play it, but come on. Red Dead Redemption 2, come on. All right, guys, that does it for the shoutouts. If I missed you, let me know down in the comments and I'll get you in a future video. If you got something out of this video, man, like if you liked it, you like my format or whatever, go ahead and like that, hype me up. Screw it. Let's skip the foreplay here. Just go ahead and subscribe, join me on the channel. I'd love to have you here. We're hanging out here. We're getting hyped about Grand Theft Auto 6. Eventually, the game will come out and this channel will crash and burn and I'll have to switch to something else. I don't know. We'll figure it out together, right? I just want you here, man. I like hanging out with all y'all, so it's a good time. And hope you're doing all right. Hope everything's okay on your end. I know the world's in a crazy dark place. My life personally, I got so much dark crap going on in it. I feel like when it rains, it pours. There's another terrible pun for you. When it rains, it pours. And I've got a lot of that going on in my life right now, but I'm alive, I'm breathing, and I'm still able to hang out with you guys and make this awesome Grand Theft Auto content. So in that, I'm blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for getting sappy. If you haven't already, make sure to, I already said that. Anyways, here's 2 videos. Thank y'all so much. Have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there, guys. Much love and peace. Okay, guys, look, I was terrified to make this video because I don't know what's going to happen to my channel or anything like that if I just come out and say this, but I have to tell you guys why I was gone for a month. I've got to tell you all the truth. Okay, so going through everything that I've been going through, like, I've been diving super deep on like Grand Theft Auto 6 and stuff, and I've discovered some really scary stuff. So I'm going to share that with y'all today. Okay, and I know this might be a little bit uncomfortable for some of you, depending on, your background. I don't know how deep you look into conspiracies. Normally I don't, but just listen, okay? This stuff is crazy. So I was gone for a month. A lot of you noticed. And when I came back, you guys were really freaking cool about it. And, but I was gone for a specific reason, but we'll get into that. There's no other good way to get into this except for talking about Jason and Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay, so if you go look at the screenshots, look at his face. Okay, well, let's start there. This is how I'm going to ease y'all into this. Look at his face. Jason's facial symmetry is statistically like abnormal. And I'm sure you've noticed this. Like if you look at certain screenshots, his jaw looks a little weird. The ratios fall outside of the range of natural human variation. Look at his eyes. Really look at his eyes. Okay, do they make you uncomfortable? Well, Rockstar, they always base their protagonists off real people like Nico, Trevor, Michael, Franklin, and we've found the models. Like we know who they modeled them after, not Jason. Okay, and there's a reason for that. All right, so just keep that in your mind. You're gonna have to hold a lot of pieces here so that when this all comes together, you'll have a revelation. The Epsilon program. I know it's like a funny conspiracy thing like in the games, and it did start as a joke. Rockstar launched a real functioning Epsilon website, I think in 2004, before San Andreas even came out. It's a transparent Scientology parody, at least on the surface. In it, the world is 157 years, dinosaurs are a lie, aliens walk among us, and that's supposed to be funny. What's not funny is Laszlo Jones, longtime Rockstar producer, he told IGN he received phone calls. His work phone number from someone claiming to represent actual Epsilon followers. He brought it to Dan Houser, and then instead of shutting it down, okay, they've generated real believers and Rockstar made it bigger. A quote-unquote fake religion. Now, look at what the Epsilon program actually teaches. The world is not what you're told. Aliens live among humans, disguised as people, and you may carry the bloodline of Kraft, Emperor of the Fourth Paradigm, if you bear a certain mark, okay? In Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, that's in 1984, and the Epsilon program is already operating in Rockstar's version of Miami. That means within the fiction, this cult has run in the state of Leonida for over 40 freaking years. Jason DeVault was born in those keys. This man with the impossible face grew up inside this single zip code with the longest Epsilon history in the entire GTA universe. So think about how elaborate this plot is that they're spinning here for you to take in. Rockstar has always put subliminal messaging in their worlds that speak true to what's going on in our current world. And this might sound crazy, but it's just the truth. The world in Grand Theft Auto is flat. Okay, it's literally flat. Like every single game you play, you're on a flat map. It's two-dimensional. There's no curvature. You don't have to take into the curvature of the earth, any sniper shot. In fact, they don't even put any missions to where you have to take that into account. Why do you think that is? Okay, it's not a globe. And if you try to go to the edge, what happens? You get killed. You try to go off into the ocean and stuff, sharks will get you, your boat will break down, you'll die. And people who've bypassed this have found that it just goes on infinitely. At the summit of Mount Chiliad in Grand Theft Auto 5, they had the whole wall mural thing, and they had the message that says, come back when you're ready. And if you come back after 100% completion at 3 a.m. in a thunderstorm, there's a UFO that materializes there. So there's a lot of funny, weird Easter egg stuff, okay? And we know Rockstar also tries to tell us stuff subliminally through their games about American culture and about really the state of the world and where we're at. So they're trying to tell us something here, and just wait, because I'll tell you what I found out. So in February of 2020, Take-Two's SEC filing announces Dan Houser's departure. Remember, Dan left the company. It originally was an extended break, and then he left. And he left after Red Dead 2 shipped. Now, watch him on his podcast with Lex Friedman. I watched that interview 17 times, and his eyes don't look right. Like, compare it to Jason. I'm serious. Look, you'll see what I'm talking about. They will make you uncomfortable. The dude barely blinks. And why did he leave? Why did Sam stay? Well, Sam stayed because Sam understood the terms from the beginning. Dan thought he was playing, okay? Listen, Sam and Dan Houser in the late 1990s, they made a pact with $6 billion from a single game does not happen by accident. They needed something, an extra oomph to get there, okay? We know that musicians have famously made deals with the devil. How do you think they did it? So Sam is still with the company because he knew the terms from the beginning. Dan's looking for a way out, all right? So now, why was I gone? Well, while I was gone, I was kind of piecing all this together and starting to realize what was going on. And one night, my hard drive with all of this stuff just went missing. Like I heard someone broke in, took my hard drive with all of this information that I've uncovered. Now, the world, from what I've discovered, And what was on that hard drive is run by lizard people. Sam and Dan Hauser are half lizard people, okay? They made a pact with Satan in the late 1990s. That's why Grand Theft Auto has been so successful. All this patented stuff, all this AI stuff I tell you about, and I always joke, quote unquote joke, that it feels like the Grand Theft Auto games are made with dark magic. They are. That's why Red Dead Redemption 2 still blows every single game out of the water. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6, when this thing comes, there's a reason they've been delaying it. They're waiting for the time to be right. Think about all the stuff going on in the world and the whole World War III scare and where we're going. They're waiting for an opportune moment to release this because this game is going to radicalize a lot of you into believing Happy April 1st, guys.
With Robinhood Gold, earn 3.35% APY with high-yield cash.
Every few years, a game comes along that rewrites the rules. And right now, the one game doing that before it even ships is Grand Theft Auto 6.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess. Trust.
I mean, the hype around this thing is unlike anything the industry has ever produced. When this thing comes out, it's going to be bigger than Elvis. You guys already know what I'm talking about. Like, it is the biggest media entertainment thing of all time. It is crazy. But beneath all of this noise and hype and all that, there are real features people are desperate to see, some of which Rockstar appears to actually be building. So let's look at some of the craziest features people want in Grand Theft Auto 6. What's actually backed up by evidence? Are any of these things actually coming? And what's just going to end up on the wish list even when the game launches? Oh, and real quick, shout out to Matthew, who won the PlayStation 5 giveaway. Great job, dude. This dude won it without even knowing all of the codes. He pieced it together and figured out the rest and then got the answer correct. This dude's a freaking genius.
So I just received the PS5 from Danny Eddy, and I just want to say thanks to the community. Thanks to Danny Eddy for being able to do this. I honestly really didn't expect to win, but yeah, I mean, I've never had a PlayStation, so it's going to be exciting playing on it, playing GTA 6 when that finally comes out. Just thanks, everyone.
Shout out to you, Matthew. Amazing job. Hopefully I'll do more PS5 giveaways in the future, but I got to save up and get myself one now. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks. Back to the video. So let's start with one of the biggest community demands going back years. People want a living, breathing world, and a major part of it is enterable buildings. So in Grand Theft Auto 5, the open world was massive, right? And I love to talk crap about Grand Theft Auto 5, but there's no denying, no disputing, the open world was massive. Most of those doors in the game are just like decoration. You can't really open up or go into them. And there was a few interiors I was actually surprised to see that you couldn't go into that you could in Grand Theft Auto 4. And it felt like there was less interiors in that game than Grand Theft Auto 4, even if there were technically more. I'm not even sure if there were off the top of my head, but it just felt kind of hollow. Also, there was a lack of vegetation and stuff everywhere, and it made the map just kind of feel like the moon after you left the city. You know what I'm talking about? Even people who love Grand Theft Auto 5, I think, share that sentiment. So you couldn't walk into like a diner or explore a mall like you could in Vice City, or duck into a random apartment during a police chase. You couldn't do stuff like that. In Grand Theft Auto 4, you can go up into the towers and stuff, but the community has been very vocal about this for a long time. Even back to when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, I remember everybody as kids was like, one day you're going to be able to go into all the buildings, in like 2008, way off in the future. And here we are way past 2008 and we still can't do that. And really, do you even want to? What's the point? I don't think that's what people really want, but we do want to go into a lot of the buildings. Again, the community has been very vocal about that, and there is a reason to believe Rockstar has heard them. And I've covered this in my video covering Grand Theft Auto 6's interiors and everything going on behind that. Now, a lot of that is speculation and a lot of that is hype, but there is a lot of truth in there as well. So according to the report from Tweaktown, leaks suggest that around 40% of large buildings in Grand Theft Auto 6 could be enterable, including hotels, skyscrapers, banks, and malls. malls. And smaller buildings like shops, gas stations, and pawn shops all are reportedly enterable and spread throughout the map. Now again, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm in this with you guys, okay? I'm discovering things as we go along, okay? And I'm just reporting on what I can find. Now, there is a claim circulating in the community that pushes that number closer to that 70% figure, okay? So let's talk about that. Based on alleged messages from someone said to be a former Rockstar employee, it should apparently be 70%. But that specific number is unverified, okay? Salt. Lots and lots of salt, right? Because that's ridiculous, okay? And that number is unverified. It should be taken as nothing more than speculation. What we can say with confidence at this point in time is that between the leaks and the sheer ambition Rockstar has described, this is a feature the community wants badly. And there are credible hints that something big is happening on this front. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but man, I am super pumped to see what buildings I can go into. That might be the first thing I do now. It changes every day. One day I think I'm just going to start driving into a crowd and testing those physics. The next I think I'm going to just go and mess with the guns, but no, now I think the first thing I'm going to do is just see what buildings I can and cannot go into. But I mean, you look at Red Dead Redemption 2 and Saint Denis. Wow, I mean, it felt like you can go into a lot of those buildings. We'll see. We'll see. The next one is a feature people have been screaming about since San Andreas. I don't know about screaming, but people really want this. They want gyms, all right? Maybe you don't want to work out in real life, but you sure as hell want to work out in your video game. So the ability to work out, build muscle, change your body shape, and actually have that progress mean something in gameplay, that's awesome, and people want it. If I was doing some sort of fitness ad, that totally would have been a good time for an ad segue. But anyways, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas had a full fitness system back in 2004. CJ could gain muscle at the gym, get fat from eating too much, lose weight on a treadmill. GTA 5 removed all of that. GTA 4 was supposed to have some of this, but didn't. And the community never really stopped asking for it back because it's freaking cool, especially with all the different fighting styles and stuff. Those light RPG mechanics in the Grand Theft Auto world really make it feel like you're living in it. Here's what we actually know about this. In the second Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, there is a clear shot of Jason doing a bench press on the beach. He's not doing light reps either. I mean, he's going pretty hard. And now Jason is pretty muscular in the shots we've seen. And he's pressing a good amount of weight. I mean, more than my chicken arms can bring up. Well, it's in the chest, right?
Remember your ABCs! Always be clogging! And the Walmart app has over 500 million items.
Walmart has dancing shoes?
The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This woman in Kansas City searched her name and found $6.1 million in unclaimed money. Like, what?
Wait, you don't know about
But anyways, in a separate screenshot, Lucia is shown in what looks like a basement gym, wearing workout gloves and punching a heavy bag. And there's gym equipment visible in the background. And Grand Theft Auto Base, which tracks confirmed features from official materials, lists gym, workouts, and boxing among the confirmed minigames and activities visible in the trailers. Now, does this guarantee a full body changing fitness system thing like San Andreas? No, of course not. That hasn't been officially confirmed. But the visual evidence that we have seen from official Rockstar materials, I think, is strong enough to say that this is far more likely than not, especially after coming out of Red Dead Redemption 2 and the weight mechanic coming back, the ability to gain fat and lose it. I don't know why they wouldn't include this in Grand Theft Auto 6. It'd be pretty funny too if one partner, since we're playing as Jason and Lucia, if, maybe Lucia puts on some weight and Jason says something or vice versa, and, she comes up to him and is like, I'm not making this for dinner again, or we're not eating there again, just stuff like that. I wonder what cute interactions could potentially come from something like this. Next up, now this is a huge one. People want a smarter police system, and this is one of my biggest videos. I've covered the police systems in Grand Theft Auto 6, and they are going to be insane. So the wanted system in Grand Theft Auto 5 was one of its weakest points. I mean, cops spawned out of thin air, they instantly knew where you were, and they pursued you with the accuracy of a guided freaking missile. And in Grand Theft Auto 4, I felt like they were a lot better. I could go and weave them and get lost and stuff, and they would hunt me down. It just felt better in 4. I don't know. But the community has been asking for years for something closer to what Red Dead Redemption 2 did, which is also great, where witnesses had to report crimes, law enforcement responded based on descriptions, and you could actually use disguises and strategy to evade the law. Well, really just a mask. But in this game, apparently there's going to be disguises. So based on everything we've seen so far, Grand Theft Auto 6 appears to be moving hard in that direction. And by disguises, I just mean changing clothes, your hair, stuff like that. Grand Theft Auto Base lists improved police AI as a confirmed feature from the trailers and the leaked footage, including delayed response times, the option to surrender, and more realistic behavior during shootouts. That 6-star wanted level that everyone loves, the infamous 6 stars, it's also listed to be returning, and it's about damn time. And if the system borrows from Red Dead Redemption 2, which multiple credible breakdowns do suggest, then NPCs with smartphones could replace the old witnesses run to sheriffs mechanic. Now in Grand Theft Auto 5, we did see NPCs and stuff calling the police, but I think a lot of that was smoke and mirrors and the wanted system was already doing its thing in the background. Now you're going to actually have NPCs making crime reports instantly, and then the police are going to respond and come out to a location where they reported it and start looking for you. And that adds a layer of complexity. These, simple changes like this, even though they're not simple, of course, to create, what feels like just a simple change or whatever is going to dramatically change how you interact with the police in this game, how you evade them. And apparently this time they're going to be a much bigger threat, do a lot more damage, and just be heavy hitters. So you're going to be doing a lot more running from the police, which makes sense, I think, given the whole Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing going on with this game. So Take-Two has also filed patents related to NPC behavior and virtual navigation. And oh my God, if I have to say system and method for virtual navigation in a gaming environment one more time, yes, I memorized that. It is burned into my brain. I'm going to lose my mind. But anyways, with the system, NPCs are basically a lot smarter with their AI systems. They can dynamically respond to their environment, react to what's happening around them, and adjust their behavior based on the context and weather. So these are patents, so don't treat them as confirmed game features yet, but treat them as strong evidence of Rockstar's direction, just not a guarantee, because nothing is guaranteed until there is a controller in your hand. I love saying that. Here's one that connects to the DNA of the franchise. People want a real criminal empire system. And what do I mean by DNA? Well, look back to Vice City stories. Y'all remember that? Like the ability to actually build a drug empire? Look at Chinatown Wars. A lot of you haven't played that one. I've only played it a bit, but it's got the whole like drug running kind of thing. It's got business elements to it. Even the original Vice City had properties you could buy. So buying properties, running businesses, laundering money. Vice City and Vice City Stories both had versions of this. In Vice City Stories, you could take over 30 different sites and develop them into businesses like drug smuggling, protection rackets, and loan sharking. Grand Theft Auto 5 single player had almost none of that. They had the stock market stuff and that was pretty cool, but they didn't have that. And it sucks too because you make so much freaking money in that game. It's like, well, what's the point? But the community has been very loud about wanting this back. So from the September 2022 leaks, there was a money laundering icon spotted on a car wash property. As multiple Grand Theft Auto 6 analysis channels documented, that icon showed a washing machine with a $sign in the center, and that could be a symbol for, well, money laundering. I mean, washing machine $sign. Or you could just buy a laundromat. Who knows? According to Grand Theft Auto Base, the leaked footage suggests purchasable businesses that tie into laundering mechanics, which would mean properties across the map that players can acquire and use to clean dirty money. This hasn't been confirmed by Rockstar directly, but the leaked footage is from the same batch that correctly showed the dual protagonists, the Vice City setting, and many other details later confirmed by the official trailers. Now let's talk about the map itself. People don't just want this map to be big, okay? And there's a thing nowadays, right? A thing. There's a growing sentiment where people are saying, hey, I don't want a big map. I want a deep map. I want to be able to explore, but I want that exploration to be meaningful, right? So they want a map that changes as well, just like Red Dead Redemption 2. And this is one of the most talked about features in the entire Grand Theft Auto 6 conversation. And I've covered this, and it actually has serious sourcing behind it. So in 2020, Kotaku reported that Rockstar's plan for the next Grand Theft Auto was to start with a moderately sized release and then expand it with regular updates over time, partly to reduce crunch during development. In 2021, industry insider Tom Henderson claimed in a widely discussed report that the Grand Theft Auto 6 map would evolve over time, with new locations being added, similar to how Fortnite updates its map. I wouldn't know much about that. But anyways, love him or hate him, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier then backed up Henderson's claim, writing on Twitter that everything Henderson had said about the game matched what he had heard.
TurboTax gets your refund fast. Like, really fast.
In 2022, Schreier published a detailed report in Bloomberg stating that Rockstar indeed did have a plan to continually update the game over time, adding new missions and cities even on a regular basis. And cities, I mean, that's wild. So this isn't just some random, Reddit theory. I know I pull up stuff from Reddit sometimes. This is sourced from two of the most credible reporters covering Rockstar. Not that they can't be wrong, okay? So whether these post-launch updates include entirely new cities or just expanded areas of Leonida, we don't know yet. And maybe Rockstar doesn't even fully know yet because this is going to be off in the future and they're just trying to get the game out the door. Who knows what's going on in Willy Wonka's factory. But one of the wildest feature requests, and one that sits right in the crosshairs of Florida being the setting, is a full dynamic weather system, including hurricanes. And I've talked about this too. I've talked about this stuff, let's be honest. A Rockstar job listing spotted by fans and discussed widely on the Grand Theft Auto 6 subreddit sought a senior environmental systems programmer with expertise in dynamic simulation and real-time environmental systems. Red Dead Redemption 2 already featured impressive storms. I mean, they didn't last very long, unfortunately, at least without mods, but they look great. They had dynamic snow accumulation that was freaking incredible. I mean, being able to just walk through the snow was so awesome. And weather that affected the gameplay. Think about the mud in Red Dead Redemption 2. Given that Grand Theft Auto 6 is set in a fictional version of Florida where hurricanes are a defining part of life, the community badly wants to see extreme weather as a gameplay element. Flooding streets, changing driving conditions, disrupting missions. Now, a full Category 5 hurricane randomly spawning in free roam is almost certainly not going to happen. I mean, from a game design standpoint, that just sounds impossible. At least now. I mean, we'll see. But a scripted hurricane event in the story, that's much more likely. Very much like the original Grand Theft Auto Vice City, even though we didn't really get to see a lot of that hurricane. It was really just a big old tropical storm. Or, speaking of tropical storms, we could see those too that affect the open world in real time. And this is very much within the realm of possibility based on what Rockstar has already achieved in Red Dead Redemption 2. For now, though, this remains unconfirmed and speculative. And I hate to say that because I think this is going to be in the game. But, I got to say that, okay? I got to say that. I'm trying to get better, guys. I'm trying to get better.
95% accuracy.
We're on the hype train, but we got to keep it real on the hype train, okay? So here's a feature that blends what the community wants with what Rockstar is almost certainly building, an in-game social media system. And yes, this is going to be in the game, okay? Both trailers are loaded with references to social media. I mean, the first trailer was basically just like a TikTok video reel thing. You know what I'm talking about? NPCs are filming on their phones all the time. There's live streaming, posting content, all that kind of stuff. The first trailer, like I said, really leaned into this with a satirical version of modern social media culture, especially with Miami, right? And from the 2022 leaks, a messaging app called What Up, clearly a parody of WhatsApp, was spotted in the game's phone interface. And the community wants this to go deep. They want in-game platforms where NPCs post about your crimes, where your wanted level is affected by viral footage, where the phones become a real tool for interacting with the world rather than just a menu. None of the specifics have been confirmed, of course, by Rockstar. I mean, we don't even have trailer 3 yet, unless it came out before or just after this video. And if it did, must be nice. But the visual emphasis across two trailers combined with the leaked footage showing in-game social media apps and all that kind of stuff, it makes it very likely that social media will be woven into the gameplay in ways Grand Theft Auto 5 never attempted. And then there's the feature that could change Grand Theft Auto's entire future as a platform. Okay, this is big. The community wants official modding and roleplay support. Now, here's the real backstory on this. In August of 2023, I believe, Rockstar officially acquired CFX.re, and that's the team behind FiveM. In previous videos, you've heard me say they've acquired FiveM. Well, really, they acquired the team that created FiveM, okay? And that's the third party? Oh my God. It wasn't so long I was on the potty, so that's probably why I'm saying that. But the third-party mod framework, okay, powers nearly all of Grand Theft Auto 5's roleplay community. As reported by PC Gamer, this was a massive reversal with Rockstar kind of taking it away. Or at least they tried to. They had previously tried to shut down FiveM, calling it an unauthorized service back in 2015. Since the acquisition, multiple reports have pointed to something called Project Rome, which allegedly stands for Rockstar Online Modding Engine. According to reporting from Rockstar Intel, former FiveM staffers have described Rome as an internal Rockstar project that would replace FiveM as the official modding and server platform for Grand Theft Auto 6. In September 2025, PC Gamer reported that NoPixel 5, the next version of the biggest Grand Theft Auto roleplay server, was announced in collaboration with Rockstar Games and would be hosted on the Rockstar Games launcher. Additionally, a Rockstar job listing from August of 2025, spotted by gaming insider Trevor Traylor, sought a senior product manager for their creator platform, explicitly mentioning FiveM and Redem. The community wants this to mean full modding tools, custom servers on console, a creator economy similar to Fortnite Creative or Roblox. Whether Rome delivers all of that remains to be seen, and Rockstar has not officially confirmed the project even exists. But the acquisition, job postings, the NoPixel collaboration, and multiple credible reports all point in the same direction. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out what's going to be available in the future.
Take your money to the next level with high-yield cash from Robinhood Gold. Sign up now for just $5 a month.
This here's the last time I'm saying it, so y'all better pay attention. There's a simple way to start bringing in cash, and all it takes is a Wi-Fi connection and 3 clicks. No complicated setups, no special skills, just a quick trick most folks don't know about. The big companies sure ain't gonna tell you, because it cuts into their profits. But that don't matter, because it's working right now. Want to see how? Tap below and...
Now, remember, this is the biggest game of all time. They're going to want to have virtually any and everything that you could want to do in it. They want to keep it there as long as possible. And they want you to have a good time because Rockstar believes in creating good products. And I know that is like a dying breed these days. But anyways, I digress. Beyond all of that, there's a long list of features the community has talked about, and it does constantly kind of go off the rails into just an absolute wish list tornado. People want skateboarding and rollerblading, and that's something I've seen in Grand Theft Auto 6 subreddit threads. They want deeper car customization on the level of like Need for Speed. I think we are going to be getting that. They want the ability to put bodies in car trunks. I also think we're going to be getting that. They want cooperative story mode with a friend. I don't know about that. They want cross-play between PlayStation and Xbox. I do think we'll see that. Something Rockstar has never done though, with any of its titles, by the way. I mean, they've never done that, but I do think we'll see it with this game. People also want single-player DLC, real story expansions like the Ballad of Gay Tony for Grand Theft Auto 4.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
Yeah? They said catching that pass in my high school championship football game was a bad idea because I broke my leg in 13 places, but I scored a touchdown and won the game.
And this is something that Rockstar famously abandoned in Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, there was going to be single-player DLC for it, but they abandoned it in favor of Grand Theft Auto Online content. And I think it's time to bring single-player DLC back to Grand Theft Auto. Whether Rockstar agrees is another story entirely, because their next iteration of Grand Theft Auto Online is going to be insane. So what makes all of this so fascinating is that some of the craziest requests, like the iterable buildings, an evolving map, official roleplay tools, a returning gym system, actually, they have some real evidence behind it, like some real stuff behind it that does point to them, in fact, being legit. Yeah, there's a lot of wild speculation out there that just doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, a lot of it is wild, but Rockstar is big enough to meet those demands. I can't think of a studio more equipped to actually handle those demands. And Rockstar, through their trailers, their hiring, their acquisitions, really does start to point to Grand Theft Auto 6 being built to be something fundamentally different from any and everything we've ever seen before. Not just bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5 or deeper than Grand Theft Auto 4 or Red Dead Redemption 2, but more reactive, more alive than ever before. So whether every feature on this list makes it to the final game, launching in November of 2026, nobody outside of Rockstar can say for certain. And it feels like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, I swear to God. But the ambition is real, okay? I mean, they are going all in on this game. Strauss Zelnick, if you can remember that quote a while back, he was like, a good game ain't good enough, is riding on this puppy, so it's got to deliver. And that's why we've seen so many delays. Even if studios would have released it, I'm sure, in the state it was in when it was last delayed. So we'll see. There's a lot of strong signals here for something just absolutely incredible. And the community has been waiting for over a decade for this game, and they've never had more than ever a reason to believe that what they're asking for might actually be what they're getting. But I'm curious to know, what features do you want to see in Grand Theft Auto 6? What do you want to see that maybe you haven't heard anyone else on the internet or whatever talk about? What do you think is too good to be true for something like this? I mean, do you think we're going to be seeing 70% enterable buildings? It sounds kind of insane, okay? And I know I love to ride the hype train with you guys, but I got to keep it real. The 70% enterable buildings, I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts. What do you think? Anyways, my name's Dandy Andy. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please leave a like on this video or consider subscribing. It would help me out a lot. And more importantly, it might bring some value to you if you're interested in Grand Theft Auto 6 and you just want a place to kind of hang out with a bunch of dudes nerding out about it. I do occasionally cover other things, but I think I'm going all in on Grand Theft Auto 6 until release, because it just seems like it would be kind of dumb not to, if I'm just being real. The views blow all of my other videos out of the water. Not only that, but I am super hyped for Grand Theft Auto 6. Like, easily one of my favorite games of all time is Grand Theft Auto 4, San Andreas, Vice City, basically all of them except for Grand Theft Auto 5, which I still need to finish. Don't beat me up for saying that. Maybe one of y'all can talk me into loving Grand Theft Auto 5. Anyways, here are 2 videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there, you amazing, awesome people. Much love and peace. Most people watching the second GTA 6 trailer were focused on the graphics, the lighting, the reflections, the character models. And yeah, all of that stuff does look incredible. But there's something else going on in that trailer that almost nobody is talking about. And it might end up being one of the most important things Rockstar gets right with this game. It's not super sexy, but it's really cool. The sound. Now, hear me out. Sound is more important than picture. You can have a bad picture, but amazing audio, and people will typically buy into that bad picture. On the flip side, you could have terrible audio but amazing picture, and people are going to notice. And this is kind of the reason I have trouble watching older films and have to put on the subtitles and stuff. It's just because the sound is a little bit more tinnier. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm getting off track here, but I just wanted to say that to let you know how important sound is to any form of media. It is probably the most important part. Movie, video, you get it. So if you go back and watch trailer 2 carefully, there's something kind of weird. The audio keeps changing, and I'm not just talking about the music, but the texture of the sound itself. When Jason is working on a rooftop, there's a classic rock song playing faintly in the background.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
When he's driving, a different track is coming through his truck. When he robs a convenience store, you can hear that same song playing through the store speakers, and it sounds, well, different. It sounds like it's coming from cheap ceiling speakers, because it is. Wang Chung's Everybody Having Fun Tonight shows up while he's working out on the beach, and it sounds like it's coming from a portable speaker nearby. So in just 3 minutes, the trailer cycles through a number of songs, each one tied to a specific end-world source. But it's not just the music. When Jason talks to a prison guard through the glass, his voice sounds normal, but the guard's voice is slightly garbled and tinny, like it's being piped through an intercom.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I've seen you here before.
An ammunition commercial on a TV in the background sounds a little blown out and overcompressed, like the TV speakers can't quite handle the volume. Planes whoosh past overhead as Jason drives. The ocean laps at the shore. A cash register dings. All of this diegetic sound, meaning the audio exists inside the world of the game, not just layered on top of it. And the level of detail here, even in just this small little trailer, is just ridiculous. Now, Rockstar hasn't gone on the record talking specifically about their sound design goals for Grand Theft Auto 6. Most game studios don't. They just throw the eye candy in front of you. They want to show you the graphics, right? Because that's what's most striking when you're looking at a game. But the sound does speak for itself and adds a layer of depth to the trailers, like I talked about previously, that subconsciously deliver to you a heightened sense of astonishment, for lack of a better term. I don't know what I'm talking about, but listen, they haven't released any technical kind of stuff about the audio is what I'm saying. But here's why it's reasonable to believe that the audio in this game will be groundbreaking. Everything Rockstar has built over the last decade points in that direction. First, let's just start with their engine. Rockstar uses a proprietary audio system called Rage Audio, which is of course a part of their larger Rockstar Advanced Game Engine. Back in 2014, Alistair McGregor, who was the lead programmer at Rockstar North at the time, gave a talk at GDC about the sound of Grand Theft Auto 5. What he described was already far more complex than most people realize. Now, I'm not a game designer, but there is some interesting stuff here that I believe other games don't do. In Grand Theft Auto 5, the audio engine supported just over 1,000 virtual sound sources at any given time, with roughly 100 of those being physically rendered. The system recalculated which 100 voices to render every 15 milliseconds, based entirely on perceived loudness at the listener's position. There wasn't like a manual priority system. So if an explosion was happening 3 miles away, it might be less important than the sound of something right next to you. And the system figured that out on its own. Now again, I'm not sure how much of that is completely normal with other games or whatever, but 1,000 sounds running simultaneously, that's insane. Like when I play on a computer game, do you guys remember the little audio option to, select how many active sounds you could have at a given time? McGregor also talked about how their radio system worked. In Grand Theft Auto 5, radio tracks weren't just a flat audio layer. They were positioned at multiple points in the game world, with different reverb and filtering based on the type of vehicle, whether the roof was open or closed, and where you were relative to the speakers. The engine supported real-time synthesis, granular audio for vehicle engines, and a dynamic mixing system that could independently mix the player's car, enemy vehicles, and ambient traffic in real time during a chase. And Grand Theft Auto 5 shipped with over 75,000 audio metadata objects, almost 90 hours of streaming audio content. So, if Grand Theft Auto 5's audio was already that sophisticated, what happened next with Red Dead Redemption 2?
I head down there, I'm dead in 5 minutes.
Well, it was a massive, massive escalation. If you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, you know just how good the sound design is in the game. It's so immersive. There's so many little sounds going on around you, little critters, the crackling of the gunshots, the campfires, even the sound of the water when you're fishing. It's insane the amount of detail in the sound of Red Dead Redemption 2 because sound is a huge part of immersion, and Rockstar knows this.
Here's 5 reasons why you should log into your old Clash account. Number 1. While you've been away, your base auto-upgraded itself for however long you were inactive for, meaning your base could be ready to move on up to the next town hall. Number 2. Troop training times have been completely removed, so you can Clash forever and fill those resources quicker. Number 3. Upgrade times at the lower town halls have been drastically reduced to a
Red Dead Redemption 2 won Best Audio Design at the Game Awards in 2018. It also won Best Score and Music at the same ceremony, and took Best Audio at the Italian Video Game Awards as well. The Game Developers Choice Awards gave it Best Technology, and the numbers behind that are staggering. According to a profile published by Vulture and reported by Games Radar, Red Dead Redemption 2 shipped with 500,000 lines of dialogue. So let me put that in perspective real quick. Grand Theft Auto 5 had just over 158,000, right? At least that's the number I found from the sources I've looked through. That is more than triple the dialogue of Grand Theft Auto 5. Rockstar hired 1,200 actors from SAG-AFTRA, and if you don't know what SAG-AFTRA is, it's the Screen Actors Guild. Okay, so with 700 of them recording dialogue and 500 performing motion capture over 2,200 days. And with that many voice actors and stuff, you start to see why they cheap out so much on paying them, but whatever. Dan Houser said Rockstar specifically focused on casting talented actors whose voices you wouldn't recognize, because familiar voices, well, that would break immersion. So you can see Rockstar, man, they are all about immersion. That's the thing, man, the immersion Kool-Aid. And I think that's why they've blown up to be what they are today, because since day one, I mean, you go all the way back, well, really Grand Theft Auto 3, but since then and on, it's always been, how can we make these games more immersive? How can we really put you in the shoes of the character we're trying to tell the story of? One of the more quietly impressive details about Red Dead Redemption 2, no pun intended, is that the dialogue recorded while characters are on horseback was captured in 2 separate versions. One version for when the other character is riding close to you, and one for when they're farther away, where the actor is actually projecting or yelling. Now, if you go back and play Red Dead Redemption 2, you're going to notice this and you're going to think it's pretty freaking cool. At least I think it's pretty freaking cool. And players did notice this back immediately after launch. The volume and tone of a conversation changes naturally depending on physical distance, not through any post-processing trick, but because the actors literally performed it both ways. And isn't it kind of immersion breaking when you're riding on horseback in a game and you're just talking at room volume, like the guy's sitting across from you, like you're having coffee or something together, and maybe they're like a football field away and it's still, you know what I'm talking about. The music system for this game was so ambitious too. Composer Woody Jackson created roughly 60 hours of music for the game, though players would typically only hear about a third of it in a single playthrough. According to Ivan Pavlovich, Rockstar's director of music and audio, the game has 192 interactive mission tracks, and the score is split into 3 distinct types: narrative music, heard during story missions, interactive music when roaming the open world, and environmental music that exists inside the game world itself, like someone playing guitar at a campfire. The way that music responds to gameplay is driven by a system Rockstar internally calls the gunfight conductor. It was originally introduced in Grand Theft Auto 5, but it was overhauled, of course, for Red Dead Redemption 2. Woody Jackson would record stem loops, around 11 at a time, each running 4 to 5 minutes, and the conductor system would layer, alter, and swap those stems in real time based on what was happening in the game. Now, some games do this, but not to this extent. And the result speaks for itself, because you get a score that never plays the same thing twice. Well, you know what I mean. There's a lot of layers to it. Over 110 musicians contributed to the final product as well. So why does all of this matter for Grand Theft Auto 6? Well, because Rockstar has never gone backward. Every major title they release pushes the audio further than the last one. Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Auto 5 was a leap. Well, that's debatable, but anyways, I'm sorry. I'm done hating on Grand Theft Auto 5, I promise. Grand Theft Auto 5 to Red Dead Redemption 2 was another massive leap, a really big leap. Okay, now I'm done. And now they're building their next game on current generation hardware that is fundamentally more capable for audio than anything they've worked with before. So what am I talking about here? Well, the PlayStation 5, which is like the ultimate platform for Grand Theft Auto 6 apparently, has the Tempest 3D audio tech engine. And really what I meant by that is like basically it feels like the game is being based completely around the PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? Anyways, the Tempest 3D audio tech engine. It's a dedicated sound processing chip based on reworked GPU architecture, specifically designed to handle hundreds of individual sound sources with spatial positioning. When Mark Cerny unveiled the technology, he said the goal was for every sound in the game to have dimensionality, not just, selected ones. That means environmental sounds, Footsteps, vehicle noise, dialogue, ambient sounds, the works. All of it can have full 3D spatial positioning without the developer having to pick and choose what gets that treatment. That's a huge deal for a game like Grand Theft Auto 6 because it's set in a dense urban environment. What Vice City's soundscape needs to be. There's going to be a bunch of traffic, there's going to be music spilling out of everywhere, conversations on the streets, sirens in the distance, waves hitting the beach, helicopters overhead, gunfire echoing between buildings, which is something they've been pretty damn good at since Grand Theft Auto 4 in my opinion. Rockstar's existing Rage audio system was already handling a version of that in Grand Theft Auto 5, but it was doing it on hardware with a fraction of the capability. The headroom they have now is enormous, and they're gonna take full advantage of that. And there's some stuff out there that kind of points to Rockstar investing a lot of stuff into their audio team and tools. Stuff like job listings posted by Rockstar North in recent years have included positions for audio programmers with a specific emphasis on innovative procedural audio, and tools programmers tasked with supporting and developing what Rockstar calls, quote, a world-class audio tool suite, end quote there. A separate listing for an associate audio engineer in New York described recording sessions at their voiceover and motion capture studios, working with hundreds of audio files tracked through Pro Tools and Perforce. Perforce, I think I'm saying that right. Anyways, Rockstar's audio pipeline, based on what these listings describe, is a large-scale industrial operation. They have spared no expense with every bit of this game. Now, of course, I should have said earlier, take all this with salt, none of this is guaranteed, yada, yada, yada. And that's because Rockstar hasn't officially detailed, of course, what Grand Theft Auto 6's sound design will look like. And it's always possible that certain features get scaled back during development.
When I started my record label, the business side of things, taxes, finance.
Their audio engine has been evolving since 2005. Their team is led